How to live deeply while still in pain. The Buddhist path to healing without drugs or stress, Part 6. Suffering is inevitable, but pain is optional. Buddha. In our healing journey, we all reach a turning point, a time when we must face one of life's greatest challenges, living with pain, whether it's the sharp sting of physical injury, the ache of emotional distress, or the sorrow of loss. Pain is woven into the very fabric of our existence. We all encounter it at some point. And at those moments the question arises, how can we live fully and deeply? When the very act of living seems to bring us pain, Buddha's teachings on pain and suffering don't ask us to deny its existence. Rather, they offer a path to understanding, a way to coexist with pain, without letting it dominate our lives. Buddha teaches that pain, when approached with mindfulness and acceptance, can become a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth and the cultivation of inner peace. This leads us to the paradox of suffering. How can we transform pain into a path of healing? In this section, we'll explore how to live deeply, even while in pain, through mindfulness, acceptance, and transformation. We'll uncover that pain doesn't have to diminish our lives. In fact, it can teach us valuable lessons, bring profound insights, and open the door to joy, purpose, and peace, no matter what challenges we face. Let's explore together how we can not just endure, but thrive even in the presence of pain. Pain is something we all encounter. It's universal. From the moment we are born, we are exposed to physical discomfort, emotional turmoil, and spiritual suffering. These experiences shape our lives. At some point, every one of us must face them. But in Buddhism, pain is not something we should fear or avoid. It's something we must learn to understand. Buddha teaches us that suffering is an unavoidable part of life. It's a fundamental truth, something we cannot escape. However, he also revealed that the mental and emotional suffering we attach to pain is not a given. We have a choice in how we respond. We can approach pain with resistance and fear, or we can meet it with acceptance and awareness. The pain itself, whether physical or emotional, is not the root of the problem. The real challenge arises when we cling to pain, when we make it a part of our identity, when we identify with pain as something permanent, something unchangeable. We begin to prolong our suffering. But when we embrace pain as a natural part of life, something we are meant to experience, we begin to transform it. Through acceptance and awareness, we can turn pain from a source of suffering into a source of wisdom. Pain, when understood deeply, can guide us, teaching us about our own resilience, bringing us closer to the essence of who we truly are. By accepting pain, instead of fighting it, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering, allowing it to become a stepping stone toward healing and spiritual growth. Pain doesn't have to define us. It can be a teacher, a guide, and a powerful catalyst for transformation. Pain as the gateway to awareness. One of the most profound insights in Buddhism is that pain can be a teacher. When we encounter pain, whether it's physical or emotional, it often forces us to pause. It demands our attention, pulling us into the present moment. In that space, we can no longer escape into distractions, fears, or the weight of the past. In this way, pain becomes a gateway to awareness. It urges us to reflect on our lives, our habits, our thoughts, and our emotions. Pain challenges us to transcend our limitations, break free from old patterns, and open our hearts to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Rather than seeing pain as a sign of weakness or failure, we can begin viewing it as an opportunity for awakening. Through mindfulness, we can learn to observe our pain without allowing it to consume us. We can breathe through it, sit with it, and let it pass without clinging to it. This shift in perspective allows us to see pain not as an enemy, but as a powerful tool for growth. Through this practice, we discover that we are not defined by our pain. We are the awareness behind it, capable of transcending it and embracing the wisdom it brings. The power of acceptance. Acceptance is one of the most transformative tools in the healing process. When we accept pain, we stop fighting it. We stop wishing it away. We stop identifying it as part of who we are. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean we give up on healing or seeking relief. It simply means we acknowledge pain as it is, without judgment, without resistance. Buddha's teachings on acceptance are deeply rooted in the understanding of impermanence. Everything is temporary. Pain, like all things, will eventually pass. The more we resist pain, the more we strengthen its grip on us. But when we accept it, we begin to open ourselves to healing. Acceptance isn't about passivity. It's about actively letting go of resistance, allowing us to move forward with peace. By embracing pain as a natural part of our experience, we make space for growth and transformation. Through acceptance, we free ourselves not from the pain itself, but from the suffering that comes from fighting it. Mindfulness in pain, a meditation practice. When we're in pain, it's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts, fear, or frustration. The mind can spiral, amplifying the pain we're already feeling. But mindfulness meditation offers us a way to break free from these patterns. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment, to observe our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. This practice is particularly powerful when we're experiencing pain. It helps create space between ourselves and the pain. Instead of becoming consumed by it, we learn to be with it, without letting it define us. To practice mindfulness in pain, follow these steps. 1. Sit in a comfortable position, allowing yourself to relax and breathe freely. 2. Focus on your breath. Notice how the air enters and leaves your body. 3. Check in with your body. Gently scan for areas of discomfort. Where do you feel pain? 4. Observe the pain without judgment. Simply notice the sensation. Is it sharp, aching, or throbbing? 5. Breathe into the pain. Allow yourself to sit with it without trying to change or push it away. 6. Notice how the pain may shift. Does it change in intensity or quality as you continue to observe it? Through this exercise, you'll learn that pain does not control you. You control how you relate to it. And in that relationship, the healing process begins. By practicing mindfulness, we create a space where pain can exist without overwhelming us. And in that space, healing can flourish. The role of compassion in pain. One of the most transformative practices in Buddhism is cultivating compassion toward ourselves and others. Compassion is not just about feeling sympathy. It's about actively wishing to alleviate the suffering of ourselves and others. It's about holding ourselves and others in a space of love and kindness, especially during moments of pain. When we experience pain, it's easy to become consumed by it. We might get caught in self-pity, frustration, or resentment, but through compassion, we can shift our focus. Instead of letting pain take center stage, we can cultivate a loving awareness that holds both our pain and ourselves with kindness. Compassion softens the edges of pain. It helps us feel connected to others, knowing that we are not alone in our suffering. This connection brings comfort and a sense of solidarity, reminding us that, like others, we too are deserving of compassion. It also reminds us that pain, like everything else, is impermanent. Through compassion, we can face pain without fear, knowing that it will pass. In the meantime, we hold ourselves with love and understanding. In this way, compassion becomes a powerful tool in the healing process. It allows us to move through pain not as victims, but as people who are healing, growing, and becoming more connected to the essence of who we are. Let me share the story of Sarah, a woman in her 40s who had lived with chronic back pain for many years. Doctors had tried countless treatments, but nothing seemed to work. She was frustrated, tired, and ready to give up. One day, Sarah decided to attend a mindfulness meditation retreat. She had heard about the healing power of mindfulness, and though skeptical, she was willing to try anything. That might bring her relief. During the retreat, she learned something profound: how to be present with her pain, not to avoid it or try to fix it, but to truly be with it. At first, the pain was overwhelming. It felt like an unshakable weight, and Sarah was unsure how to handle it. But as she continued practicing mindfulness, something inside her began to shift. Sarah realized that her pain wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. She had carried years of unresolved sadness and anger from her childhood. Her body had been holding onto these emotions, and they had manifested as chronic pain. Through mindfulness and compassion, she started to gently release these buried feelings. The pain didn't disappear overnight, and it wasn't easy, but with time and practice, the intensity lessened. Sarah discovered that the pain, while still present, didn't control her anymore. She had learned to live with it, not as her enemy, but as a part of her healing journey. Through mindfulness, Sarah found a new perspective. She realized that healing wasn't about eradicating pain, but about learning to coexist with it. And in this process, she not only healed physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. Sarah's story is a powerful reminder that through compassion, mindfulness, and presence, we can transform our relationship with pain. Instead of fighting it, we can learn to embrace it, and in doing so, open the door to deep healing and growth. Healing through presence, living with pain, not in pain. In Buddhism, we are taught to live in the present moment, fully aware and engaged with the here and now. When we are in pain, it's easy to project that pain into the future, thinking that it will never end, that we'll always feel this way. We worry about how it will affect us tomorrow, next week, or for the rest of our lives, but the truth is, the present moment is where healing happens. Healing doesn't happen in the future. It happens right now, in this very moment. In the midst of pain, we have the opportunity to find peace, not by wishing the pain away, or ignoring it, but by being fully present with it. When we practice mindfulness and acceptance, we can learn to live with pain rather than being consumed by it. Instead of allowing pain to define us, we can learn to sit with it, observe it, and experience it without letting it overwhelm us. We begin to realize that pain is not our enemy. It's part of the human experience, something we all go through. And just like every other experience, it carries with it powerful lessons. Pain can teach us resilience. It can show us our inner strength, our ability to endure, transform, and grow. By learning to live with pain rather than in it, we start to discover a deeper sense of peace and wisdom. In the present moment, we are no longer victims of pain. We are active participants in our healing journey. Through mindfulness, we reclaim our power to choose how we relate to pain. And in doing so, we open ourselves to profound healing and transformation. The transformative power of pain. Through mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance, we have the power to transform pain into a powerful tool for growth. Pain no longer needs to be something we avoid or resist. Instead, it becomes a teacher, an invitation to awaken, to live more deeply, and to be more present in every moment. When we face pain with mindfulness, we step into the present, embracing what is without fear or judgment. It's no longer a burden that weighs us down. It becomes a catalyst for transformation. By accepting pain, we open ourselves to inner rebirth. This rebirth isn't about escaping pain, but rather about living through it with grace, awareness, and love. Instead of trying to push it away or wishing it were different, we lean into it. We allow it to unfold, knowing that it will not define us, but will in time teach us valuable lessons about strength, resilience, and compassion. Pain, when embraced fully, becomes an opportunity to evolve. It's a chance to shed old layers and emerge stronger, more connected to our true selves, and more compassionate toward others. In this way, pain ceases to be a source of suffering and becomes a path to spiritual awakening. Through this process, we realize that we can live deeply and fully, even while experiencing pain. It's not about the absence of pain. It's about our ability to hold space for it and to move through it with awareness, love, and peace. Ultimately, pain is not something we can avoid. It's an inherent part of life. But through mindfulness and compassion, we can learn to live with it in a way that transforms our pain into wisdom. It becomes not a burden, but a guide, leading us toward deeper self-awareness and understanding. Healing doesn't mean the absence of pain. It means learning to live with pain in a way that allows us to embrace life fully. By accepting pain, by opening our hearts to it, we unlock a profound doorway to deeper understanding, growth, and peace. Pain can teach us powerful lessons. It shows us our inner strength, resilience, and our ability to remain grounded no matter what life brings. The path to enlightenment is not about escaping suffering. It's about transforming it into wisdom, love, and compassion. So remember, healing is not about living without pain. It's about living deeply with it, allowing it to teach us, and opening ourselves to the peace and wisdom that arise from our willingness to face and embrace our pain.